Okay, now I'm switching back to a different class. This one actually has some data, and so we want to see if we can actually do the same sort of thing. So just very quickly, first thing, I'm going to go to my gradebook, and remember there are lots of ways to get to it. You can make some shortcuts for your students and get rid of the admin block. And I will go to categories and items, and just very quickly do what we did before. You see here that we have no categories, so I'm going to quickly make out a couple categories. I think 3 is usually a good number, but of course every teacher has their own way of doing things. So let's just, I'll put participation here and leave everything else as it is and save changes. And then I'll make another category. Called class activities. Make sure simple weighted mean matches the other one, and save the changes there. And you can get into all kinds of funky things with dates and turning stuff on and off. Like you might not want your final grades to show up until the last 2 weeks, so you don't scare people because they see they have Fs, just depending on how you've tweaked that. And then we'll do one called exams. And save the changes there. Now I need to move these things as quickly as I can into those categories. So the easy thing is to start by taking, and again these activities are not necessarily reflective because this was a training course, but let's just take, I'm going to take several of these forums, and I'm going to make all of those and just call them 1. So I'll move them into participation. So you'll see how we can basically do all of this setup in just a matter of minutes, hopefully within 5 if I've got it right. And then I'll just randomly pick a couple other things and call that exams. Obviously, you would only assign the exams, and you pick the categories, and just make sure it's manageable for you. And then we'll take the rest of these items and I will put them in the class activities category. Again, you can use the up and down arrows to move them individually, but I don't really see the need in this particular case. Easier to do them as a group this way. And so now we have these 3 categories. I may decide, I want participation down at the bottom. So I move it down to here. You can do subcategories, but I'm going to leave that to you to figure out. It's really not complicated, but it does funky things with your numbers if you're not careful. So to reiterate, we have the mean of the grades, and then the categories themselves are simple weighted mean. And in this case, because we have the mean, we have to allocate the mean to each category. Well, guess what? You don't do that with the mean, so I was wrong. You do the weighted mean, right? So the weighted mean now allows us to assign a weight to each category, which we see appearing now. Once you pick weighted mean, we have a weight here, and a weight here, and a weight here. And I'm curious to know if the weights would all count for 0 if you left them at 0, but we'll save that experimentation for another day. So this, I'm just going to do them proportionally and see what happens. So we'll assign this to be 25, homework will be 50%, exams will be 40, and participation will be 10, and I will save that and then actually see what the gradebook looks like. Next video.